Yo, what's good, everybody? Hopefully, we are in this thing and we are live now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to, you already know, Sunday Set Trip. And this is ThatDamn Trip on all social media. And I am the host of the One Successful Failure podcast. And this is the set. It's definitely Sunday, and you're tuned in with me live today. Little recap of the week. Well, of the past 2 weeks. A little bit about me, a little bit about you, a little bit about what we have going on as a community. This is just where we check in, tap in, do our little accountability with one another, and we get to know each other on a more personal, intimate level. Again, you may see me on the One Successful Failure podcast, but I'm also just a regular person. My name is Trip, if you don't know, and welcome in this Sunday. Man, let's jump in. Shit's going by fast. I don't know if I'm the only one, and I know y'all will probably see it. The lights are on. It's hot. I am actually sweating because, man, it is spring. I don't even know if Houston has a spring. We usually go from like summer to not summer. I can't say fall. I can't say winter because Houston doesn't really transition in the seasons. We go from 1,000 degrees to not 1,000 degrees. We go from 1,000 to maybe, 200. And then from 200 maybe to 100. We don't really have where it gets cold. We have maybe 1 or 2 weeks here in Houston where it gets a little bit cool. Maybe the beginning of January, end of December. We'll get some 30s. We'll get maybe, some 40s or something like that. But we don't really get that freezing cold snow winter transition. But with that being said, I guess we already had it. And now we're transitioning from our 30s, 40s straight into the fucking 80s. Like there has not been a chill. There has not been a just calm, sweet, cool transition here. We had our New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe 2 days ago was the spring solstice. And truthfully, if you're into astrology and if you're into some of the ways that the real Christians or other religions believe, this is our new year. March 21st, spring solstice is when the new year starts. Everything comes into bloom. Everything starts to change. And I think we feel it. I think I feel it. I think as a people, I can't say a race. What the fuck are we? As a species, as human beings, I think we feel it. A lot of us blame it on the time change. I know a couple of weeks ago I was doing some things and I had to be with some people and they were late. And their excuse, truthfully, it was young folks, so they was out clubbing and shit. But their excuse was like, oh, Trip, the time change, that hour really messed me up. And I'm like, how? How was you late? How did it fuck you up? We have technology. I have an Apple Watch. Most of you all have Apple Watches or Garmin watches or whatever. We got iPhones and Androids. We're on towers. We don't manually set our clocks anymore. I don't. I used to have an alarm clock in the house. One of those ones where you set up on your own, big digital ass red letters on a clock, but just so I could get up at night. But those things would make me anxious. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would see those big red letters and I was like, I don't need to know the time in the middle of the night. So unless you have one of those or like you're in prison or something, the time change, truthfully, technically, technologically, it shouldn't affect us. But because truthfully, we're going through a new year. March 21st is when everything starts all over for us. We're in bloom. We're in spring. Because of those things, our bodies change. Man, shit's changing. Like, I don't know if y'all understand. This is like a 2-part of today's conversation. We just went through the first quarter, like blew through it. It's the end of March right now. We're already in the first month, damn near, of the second quarter. We're already into spring. We've already set the times forward, sprung backwards, leaped forward. However it is you keep your clock, we've already done that. Shit's changing. So no, technically, the time change and the 1 hour that we gained or lost, most people say you shouldn't even feel it. But then again, we should. This end of the first quarter is showing me that 2025 is going so fast and the world is changing so fast. Are we keeping up? As a community, are we keeping up with our goals? I can tell you there's some things I've fallen off of. I can tell you there's some things that I haven't fallen off of, but I've had to make corrections, start all over, regroup, revamp, take it back to the drawing board. I mean, hell, if you really keep up with the Sunday set trip, we should have been talking last week. But things change. Things get revamped, regrouped. Last week, I went on a spontaneous road trip. I went to go and just out of nowhere, I went to go see my little brother. Drove to Dallas with some friends. They were going. I said, hey, I'm going to roll with you. Got in the car. We went 24-hour trip. Just 24 hours of, something that I used to do as a kid. I used to make a decision, or as a young person, I call myself a kid. Pre-marriage, pre-tramposa, long-term commitment, the young, free, wild me. I used to just jump in a car and just fucking go. I'd be somewhere and my grandmother would call me and she'd be like, where you at? And I'm like, oh shit, D, I'm in Arizona. And she was like, what are you doing there? I'm like, I don't know, D, I just got up and I went. D is my light-skinned grandmother, for all of you don't know. I got 2 grandmothers still living, thank God. Let me tap on wood. D is my light-skinned grandmother in Oklahoma. She's the one from Chicago, Illinois area. And then I got Betty Jean, that's my darker skinned grandmother. For all my white people, yeah, it's colorism over here. That's how I describe them. That's how y'all used to describe us. That's how I'm gonna describe us. I got a light skinned grandmother and a dark skinned grandmother. I tell my one that you my favorite light skinned grandmother, and I say, but don't tell my dark skinned grandmother because she kind of crazy. And then I tell my dark skinned grandmother, you my favorite dark-skinned grandmother, but don't tell my light-skinned grandmother because she kind of crazy. But I used to be on the road, and my grandmothers, one of them will call me and they find out where I am, and I done took a spontaneous road trip, a staycation, but I didn't stay. And I used to just be wild like that. Not wild, just free. And so now that I'm revamping, regrouping, relearning life, recharging, whatever, all the re's, I have started redoing some of the things that I used to do, and being bold and just waking up and saying, you know what? Fuck, I wonder what Vegas is like today. Let me jump online. Oh shit, $60 round trip. I'm in that thing. I'm starting to do more of those things. And since it was spring, the time had changed. The opportunity came about to ride 4 hours up the block to Dallas to see my little brother. I said, fuck it. Why not? And I took that road trip and it was great. But again, it leads into all of the topics. When you're riding through Texas, there's these convenience stores here, and it's nationwide now. People have learned about them. This white lady got on TikTok or something, and she butchered the name of it. But we have these convenience stores that we're very, very proud of now. They're called Buc-ee's. Some of y'all call them Buc-ee's, but they're Buc-ee's. Got a beaver. They pride themselves on having the cleanest bathrooms in America, and they do. And so you can't be on a Texas road trip and go anywhere throughout the state of Texas that there's Buc-ee's and you don't stop. So on the road trip, the spontaneous road trip, the reset, the little spring break for myself, we stopped in Buc-ee's, and the same spring break I was taking for myself, the first end of the first quarter pause that I was taking, we stopped in Buc-ee's, and it was also spring break for 50 million other people. It was kids everywhere. It was moms everywhere. It was nanas everywhere. It was cousins and best friends and classmates everywhere. I even saw some beefing in Buc-ee's. It was more employees than they've ever needed. Buc-ee's has 200 gas tanks. We drove around for 31 minutes just to try to get a spot at a gas tank. It was fucking spring jumping at Buc-ee's. The same way as like the new year started, life started, these birds and everything was coming out. All the squirrels and shit was coming out of hibernation. It's the end of the first quarter. It's the end of what we call cold. It's the end of the first, man, we made it through the first part of 2025 and survived. Everybody was popping their head up. Spring is a good time. It was a good time at Buc-ee's for a lot of kids. It was a good time at Buc-ee's for a lot of parents. But you also could see the people who were like, man, as soon as these kids go back to school, man, I need to clean up. I don't have kids who are out for spring break, but it's the end of the first quarter, and I'm getting those spring cleaning vibes. I don't know. Maybe it's nature. Like I said, we're getting that extra 1 hour of the sun. I'm getting those vibes like, it's time to shake off some things. We're going into the summer. A lot of people saying, hey, you got 58 days or whatever to display that summer body. But what else are we on the countdown for this second quarter? What do we have? What are we counting down to say we're halfway through the year? What are your goals? What are the goals that we set forth in December? What are some of the things that we said we were going to do and we were going to hold each other accountable for, that you were going to hold yourself accountable for? It's spring. It's second quarter. Check in. What have we done? I can tell you as a collective, I don't know if you've been tapping in with me. We're finishing up in March. We're finishing up our third book as a community. At the beginning, we did Who Moved My Cheese? And then the second book in February, since it was a short month, we did 2 short books, Who Moved My Cheese? And I believe it's great time to get your shit together. I always butcher that book, but it talks about the 4 C's, core values, commitments, career, and oh my God. But the 4, it's because I'm on to another book. But the 4 C's that you should be taking care of and working through in your life, that you should be challenging and pushing towards every single day of your life. And if you do these 4 C's, if you live by the 4 C's, if you're challenging yourself every day to knock off something or to be something or to do something that can change your life with these 4 C's, there's no way that you won't have your shit together in life. There's no way that you won't have your shit together in your relationships. There's no way that if you follow these 4 C's and everything that you do, you won't have your shit together in financially, mentally. You'll be taking care of yourself. The third book that we're on right now is Tidy the Fuck Up. And I think that's where the spring cleaning woes are coming in. I'm learning that it's okay in relationships in life, in clutter in the house, in old clothes, even sock drawer. Fuck, it's okay to tidy shit up, look at stuff and say, this no longer serves me. I know that's a weird thing. People like us don't look at socks drawers. We don't go through our garage and pick up items and say, this no longer serves me. But maybe we should. Maybe we should as a community or as a collective. Maybe we should as a new individual revamping, reinventing. Maybe we should as someone restarting not only just life, but the second quarter of this year. Maybe we should take the time out and touch items and say, man, this relationship that I've had since middle school, although it's long term, it's dope, it's 20 years, it doesn't fucking serve me. This person never calls me. And when they do call me, they're only calling to complain. They only hit me when they need something. When I need something, I can't even consider calling them. It doesn't serve me. Maybe we should pick up those clothes, those items. We're always talking about we don't have the money to redo our wardrobe, but we have money or waste of things sitting around. How many times have you walked into your closet and said, I don't have anything to wear, me? And I've got so many things just hanging up. Well, when is it time to tidy the fuck up your closet? Tidy the fuck up your wardrobe. When are you going to stop wearing those same old t-shirts that's faded? The neck is all loosey-goosey and shit. The same pants that's too tight because you've gotten thick and then you get thin and they get loose again, but they kind of faded in the ass or in the knees, or they just don't have that same little spark because you go from thick and thin and they've been stretched and shrunk. When are you going to let those go? Those relationships, those job projects, those house projects. When are we going to tidy the fuck up our schedule? When are we going to get it so airtight and so right for ourselves that the wrong person can't come in with the wrong shit at the right time and ruin everything that we got going on for ourselves? It's the second quarter. It's time to spring clean. It's time to do some spontaneous stuff. But we can't even do spontaneous road trips, staycations, little wild adventures for ourselves if we haven't gotten through this first quarter, reevaluated, appreciated the new year that spring is bringing to us, adjust our clocks to the new shit, the new times, the new goals, the new feelings, the new relationships, the new people in our lives. Tidy the fuck up everything we got going on in our house, in our car, in our homes, in our relationships with our kids, with our bosses, with our jobs, with ourselves. We got to tidy those things up. And I think this book is showing me that it's more than just throwing away clutter in your house. Throw away the fucking clutter in your relationships. Throw away the fucking clutter in your mind. When my other threw away our relationship Like, fuck, I was distraught. I wanted to just throw myself away. But then I started feeling it and understanding it. And I still don't understand that motherfucker. But I do understand that, man, shit is going to go away. Some shit is going to get thrown away. And the crazy thing is you never know if you're going to miss it or not, need it or not, use it or not until you throw it away and you don't have it. And that's what makes it a good thing from the spring and the New Year's and the solstice and the time change and the spontaneous trips. After you've done those and cleaned them out and cleared them out or reorganized or it leaves room. We've gotten the first quarter out of the way. Now we got room to enjoy the second quarter. Now we got room to look at some of the goals we've already accomplished this year, pat ourselves on the back, give ourselves some credit, give ourselves some criticism or whatever it is that we need and say, all right, shit, we look towards the second quarter of this year. It's about to be amazing. We've got the time to regroup. We've got a trail of what we did and what we didn't do. What the measure of value. Y'all know I talk about them rulers, the 12 inches that we got to grow. Pause. You know, someone like me with ADHD and someone like me who doesn't seek validation from people, but I seek validation from measurements. I like to see how far I've gone. I need to know how far I have to go. I'm an athlete. Don't just tell me to run. Say, listen, triplet, you got 12 laps to knock out. I don't give a fuck how fast or slow, but the 12 laps is on you. I just need to know what I need to do to accomplish those goals. So now that we've seen in the first quarter what we did or didn't do to make this year good or not, we get the opportunity to spring clean our routines, spring clean our commitments to ourselves, to you all, to the collective, to the community. Maybe you're building your own community that you decided you're going to be more committed to. You're going to communicate more to. You're going to stop hiding things. You're going to declutter the way that you feel. You're going to declutter the way that you communicate with a team, with a loved one, with a spouse, with a kid. You're going to get a better relationship with your fucking child. Something that you've committed to. We all did, or we wouldn't be here on a Sunday. We now have a level of measurement for these first 3 months to say it's been good, it's been bad. Where do we go from here? So those commitments, those new beginnings right there, I think that's where we are in this year. I think that's where we are as a collective. I think that's where we are on this Sunday. Like I said, some of us has fallen off. If you really stick to it, we should have been on last Sunday. I went to see my brother, and normally I would fall off and say, well, damn. I can't go back and record the next week. People are going to be keeping track. No, they're not. These are your goals. These are your commitments. These are your consistencies you're trying to build. If you say that you're going to run 3 miles every day and you're going to do this check-in online and you miss a day because you're not feeling good, you miss a day because you have a prior commitment, you miss a day because you'd rather go out and have a fucking drink with your friends than to do this run today, do it tomorrow. Don't beat yourself up or pause your goals or just fall all the way the fuck off because you say, oh, I was supposed to do it yesterday and people are going to be looking. No, they're not. They're going to be looking at what you showed them. And if you showed them that, hey, yeah, I didn't run yesterday. Hey, yeah, I didn't show up to what I said I was going to show up to yesterday. Hey, kids, I didn't fix a meal yesterday. Mommy was tired. Daddy was tired. Mommy had something she wanted to do for herself. But I'm here today. And we can still be committed to one another today. You can still be committed to yourself today. You can still be committed to 2025 today, starting now. It's the start of the second quarter. It's time to spring clean the shit that we saw in the first quarter or last year that no longer serves us. It's time to physically start touching those things. That's what the book is telling me. Physically touch things. And once you physically touch things and use them, put them back. Don't put them down. If you're going to pick up a new habit, when you use it, put it back. Don't put it down. Because when you put it down, you look at it, you say, oh, I got to go pick it up and put it in its place. And you don't create that habit again. Simplify your routine. If the first quarter, if you haven't failed at something and realize, damn, it's hard, I don't want to do this, don't quit. Find out what you can do to tidy that routine up, to simplify that routine so that you can get back on that commitment. Spring is leading us into summer. It's a new year. This is leading us into new adventures, new things, new love, new friendships, new commitments, new goals. Some of us are looking for new jobs, new bodies, whatever it is. You have a new start right now. It's the second quarter. The first quarter is over. No, the year's not over, but this is showing you, hey, we did that. Where are we? Where are we going? Tidy your shit up and let's keep it pushing. I think I need to plan more spontaneous road trips. I need to get back into that because it was just a pattern interrupt that I needed. It was just a refresh, to recharge that. Like I got on the road and, you know, I had been traveling when I first started this new journey of life. I went to traveling and I was going out of the country. I was in Colombia. I was in Canada. I was going California, Vegas. I was hitting up all these places that took a while to get there. And I was getting drained. And I was like, oh God, traveling, it's wearing me out at the same time that it's recharging me. And so I kind of chilled on traveling for a while because it started feeling like more of a chore. But I think that's because the same as in life and the same as with our goals and the same as with our dreams and accomplishments, I was thinking so fucking big. Like I was making it like traveling just had to be a huge 8-hour ordeal, road trips, not somewhere quick, but like, you know, going to the airport and all the hassle and the bustle and packing. I think the same as with our goals right now and our commitments and with our things that we want to do. I think if we simplify them some, not give up on them, not just quit thinking that we can travel, not just quit thinking that we can have the financial freedom, not just quit thinking that we can spoil ourselves. But I think if we tidy up our goals and dreams and scale it down a little bit, and no, I'm not telling you to play small. I'm telling you to start appreciating and giving yourself some of the smaller things. Everything that we give to ourselves, all of our goals and accomplishments don't have to be this huge, big, grandiose fucking thing. We don't have to gallivant all across the United States or the country to say that we've traveled. Fuck, this week I'm going to take a 2-hour road trip to Austin just to go see this cave and this water spring because I saw it on Instagram. And on Instagram, it seemed so far away. I was like, man, that seems dope. I'm never going to make it there. I got to take off work. I got to do. No, all I got to do is jump in the car, go 2 hours, see this spring, put my feet in it, sip a little bit, enjoy the beautiful nature. Thank God and the universe for the ability to have such small things, to treat myself to the small blessings. And if we learn to do that more, then the big blessings will come. If we learn to appreciate spring and the spring solstice and the changing in the weather, going back from the 40s to the 70s, from the 30s to the 60s to the 80s, then I think we'll gradually enjoy the bigger things. From the 80s to the 90s, from the quick little road trips down the street to the beach, to our cruises, to the beaches of the Bahamas, to the Maldives. I think if we learn to appreciate the beaches down the street during the spring, then when we ball out in the summertime at those big things, we will know that because we have taken those steps, we have done that spring cleaning, we have tidied the fuck up in our life and our goals and our commitments and our jobs and our work life and our home life. Because we've done those check-ins and those little small spontaneous trips, then we are owed, deserved, and more grateful for the big shit when it starts to roll in. We put the work in the spring so we can be summertime fine. We do that summertime grind so we can just ball all fall, take the vacations, see the family, enjoy all those things. But it's all a process. And those processes, I think we got to do check-ins. And I think as a community, as a collective, as an individual, with whoever your community is, yeah, you're here with me and we're a bunch of future failures. We tap in with one another. We listen to the One Successful Failure podcast. I'm the host, but I listen to it myself. I tap in with some of the things that I'm talking about and say, hey, oh shit, I get to hear it from myself where I fucked up or fell off. And I get to correct it. And I get to create success from my own failures. I get to correct success from some of you tapping in. And that's what these Sundays are for. Shout out to my day oneers that have been riding with me, riding with us as a community, who've been reading the books, who knew about the commitments, the relationships, the new journeys, who knew that we got served. Shout out to the day tours who are joining us now, who are tapping in the second quarter, who are meeting us on the Sunday set trip and are now being introduced to the podcast. And shout out to my motherfucking replayers. Those of you all who missed us live, who haven't been even in the know of the podcast, who haven't been in the know of these Sundays on the set with Trip, but you found us somewhere. Somebody referred you to this podcast because they say, you know what, you've been struggling, or you know what, I see you bouncing back, girl. There's this crazy little motherfucker girl online, girl, woman, stud, lady, whatever you want to say. Man, she's spitting some real game, and you know she's going through some of the things that you're going through in your life too, and I think you should listen to her. I'm gonna share it with you. First of all, shout out to the person that shared it with you. But again, shout out to the replayers who got this from someone who saw this, who didn't see it live, but made the conscious effort to click on. You've never heard of us, but you're here with us now. And you're seeing that we are on the summer grind, but it starts in the spring. We're checking into the second quarter. Where are we with our goals? Where are you with your goals? Are you ahead? Are we behind? Do we have things that we've crossed off the list? Please know we should be doing our 30, 60, 90, 5-year goals. What's your 30-day short-term goals? What's something that you wanted to have knocked out by the spring? And now that it's done and you've crossed it off the list, what is the next short-term goal that's going to replace that? Now that you're doing your spring cleaning, now that you've mopped, what's next? Now that you've knocked out those dishes and decluttered that kitchen and cleaned out those cabinets, what's next? When you do those things, those little small things like declutter the refrigerator, clean out those cabinets, maybe just clean a little bit. Some of you all think you need a whole kitchen remodel. No, it was those little things that you needed to do to clear and to release to see, damn, you got so much room in those kitchen cabinets. You didn't need some more. You just needed to get your shit together. That's what this spring cleaning is supposed to do for us, not just for the house, not just to make it smell good, but spring clean those relationships. If that new man didn't make it through to the second quarter, sage that nigga up out of there. If that baby mama, if that chick, if that situationship, if that little boo thing, something that you flew out, has flown the coop, whatever it is, if that relationship is out of there, spring clean that. Get rid of the pictures in the phone. And yes, this is things that I'm saying to myself. It's been 2 years and I'm still spring cleaning that old relationship. I'm saging that shit out. But get rid of the pictures in the phone. Get rid of the t-shirts and the little items that they gave you. If it's something that you can't do without, okay, cool. But get rid of the memories attached to it. Spring clean all your situations in life so that we can move on to the next goal. The second quarter, the bigger picture. From the small little staycations to the bigger flights in the United States. From those to the cross-country 18-hour, 19-hour Africa, Europe, Australia, whatever your goals are, trips, those cruises, those big things. Let's start with the little spontaneous trips. Let's start with getting our shit together, learning about change, and tidying the fuck up. As a collective, as a community, let's get back to our commitments. Being true to ourselves, tapping in, leaning on one another, communicating. Let's get back to those things if we have fallen off. It's a new year. March 21st marked the summer, spring solstice, and it's new year for some and just new beginnings for other. Go out and start enjoying nature. It's a new energy out there right now. It's better weather. It's time to all those things that you've been putting work in, your skincare, you're drinking your water, go out and show it now. It's time to go meet new friends. It's time to go meet a new you. It's time to go get a new routine. It's time to go harder on the routine that you just established. You should have gotten the hang of it by now. Now go harder. You've been pushing the same weight for the first 3 months of this quarter. Now it's time to add some more. What those young people say. Those goals that we got, that we established in December, it's time now to up the pressure. Apply that pressure. That relationship. I'm not telling you to go stalk a bitch. I mean, if that's what you're into. But now that you might have gotten it and the cobwebs are getting shook off and you're getting past the new phase, apply some pressure. Start testing a relationship. Start doing something new. Start planning those little spontaneous small things in the relationship, in the new job, in the new situationship, in the new house, in the new garden. Plant something new. Rotate the soil. It's been cool in the new set, in a new house. I've even gotten some new furniture. I'm changing things myself. And every time I change a piece in the house, it makes me want to change something else in the house. I'm starting to love this change something. Well, I think that's going to be our second quarter motto as a collective. Hey, what the fuck are you changing so that something can change? This second quarter, with this spring cleaning, with this new 3 months that we have, that we weren't promised, but as of right now, the good Lord and the universe and Buddha and Allah and whatever you believe in too, they're blessing us with these next 3 months. What are you going to change so that you can change something? I changed the couch and now I realize I need to change the curtains. As soon as I change them curtains, I know I'm going to need to change that rug. And instead of getting frustrated, it's feeling dope. It's starting to be like a little game. What are you needing to change so that you can change something? Do you need to change that man so that you can change your life? Change it, girl. Go off, sis. My guy, do you need to shake that hating ass woman off around you so you can get to a better woman? No, I'm not telling you to go to the next relationship. But what I am saying is, if these goals aren't aligned and if you need to change something in order to change something, this is the time. We're going into the second quarter. We're not going backwards. After this is quarter 3. After this is quarter 4. And then we're into another year. We don't have these same times to do it again. What are we changing in order to change? If you want to change anything, you got to be willing to change everything. We got a new year. We got new weather right now. We got new goals, new alignments. We are finishing up the month of March. And, honestly, I haven't even gone into decide what book we're going into for April. I'm going to finish it up these next couple of days, and then I'm going to hop on and introduce you all to the next book. But who moved my cheese? Get your shit together and tidy the fuck up. Those are the things that we've gone through this first quarter as a collective. Those are the things I've gone through to help me navigate this new life, this new change. And when I say new life, it's not just because I'm going through a relationship thing. I've been going through that for 2.5 years. And I'm going to continue to be going through that until I'm in the next relationship or until I'm completely out of that one and over that. You're going to be going through something until it's completely done. But it's constantly evolving and moving. I'm not just talking about that relationship. I'm talking about the relationship with myself. Everything is new. I got a whole bunch of shit to change so that a whole bunch of shit to change for me. And I'm excited about it. As a community, drop it into the chat. Drop it in. Shoot me a message, a DM. Come on the page. Go on the Facebook, the Instagram. Go on my personal page. ThatDamn Trip on all social media. And say, Trip, yeah, man, the first quarter is over. God, I couldn't wait for that spring solstice, for that reset, for that extra hour that I needed of sunlight. How many of you all are getting your vitamin D that your body was lacking in that first quarter so that you can feel better and recharge? Pause on that. Y'all know I ain't getting no D. But I've been going out enjoying that vitamin D. How many of you all have been getting in touch and in tune with nature? Go out in the springtime. Start enjoying this weather so you don't just go from the house to 100-degree heat and you be complaining and not enjoying what our God, our universe, our Lord, our source is blessing us with. These spring changes are indications of the blessings that are coming in the summer, in the fall, in your new life. We just got to embrace the change. We got to get our shit together, tidy the fuck up, and let's get on to the next chapter, the next quarter, the next blessings in our life as a community. Tap in with me, holler at me, leave me a message, join the groups, hit my Facebook page, say, Trip, man, I'm tapping in on Sundays. I'm a day one or day two, I'm a motherfucking replayer. And I needed that spring cleanup. I needed you to let me know it's time to start decluttering those counters, those cabinets, those drawers. Go through that sock drawer. Ladies, go through that underwear drawer. Men, go listen. If you got them little stains, it's time for that to go. If you got holes in your socks, they worn out, they faded on the heels, it's time for that shit to go. And not just with drawers and socks. If you got something in your life, a relationship, a situationship, a job, if it's faded, got holes and there's stains in it, if the shit stinks, it's time to throw it out. Listen, man, this is ThatDamn Trip. You are on the set. This is Sunday set. Trip, and I am the host of the One Successful Failure podcast. Thank you for tapping in today, man. I had a great time seeing my little brother. Shout out to Ryan Scott, man. I love my little brother. I can just go and hang with him, and we had a great little meal. We ate. We might have enjoyed a joint or two, you know. The man popped up with a boot on his ankle just to see his sister, and I appreciate him just coming to spend a time with me. And my little brother's not one of those ones that we don't talk all the time. We hardly ever even chat, but like when we get together, I know they talk about those brother-sister bonds, or sometimes there's those people in life that you just feel it. And I don't know why it is that way with my little brother, but he's like the little pieces that fill in those cracks for me sometimes. And I don't know if he knows it, but he's the little thing sometimes that just makes me feel like, whew, all right. The little plug in the boat, the little hole in the boat has been sealed, and I can keep it pushing. He's a man of very few words, but the few things he says is always just enough. Just seeing my little brother with that bright smile was what I needed to get back into focus, to know that I'm not alone in a lot of things, even if it's just up the highway to see my little brother. It just was what I needed. Who is it, or what is it that you need to tap into right now going into the second quarter that can give you that little push, that little recharge? Maybe it's just yourself. Maybe if you got a puppy, an animal, a cat, maybe it's your child, a grandmother. Check in with your grandparents if you have them. Tap into something new from them that can get you into that second quarter, that can give you that boost, that recharge that you need, that little staycation. It's not always so far away, man. Tap in with me. That damn trip. This is Sunday Set Trip. I will see y'all in 2 weeks. But before then, I'm probably going to check in and see what the next book is. Hopefully, y'all are playing catch up. Leaders are readers, man. Read something, change your life, change someone else's life around you. Thank you for tapping in. Enjoy the rest of your motherfucking Sunday. And make it a good week, y'all. This is Sunday Set Trip. And I'll see y'all on the pod, man. Meet me in those goddamn comments. I'm going to be there. I promise. Y'all know it. Peace.